End Year Bash. It's New Orleans' biggest and best drift event of the year. The reason why it's so special is we get 2 tracks to drift on, and this year the kart track that we usually drive on, they've rented out both sides of it. So usually there's like a rental karting side that for whatever stupid reason they still run rental karts on while we're drifting on the other side. But I think because of like liability issues, they just rented out the whole thing. So now the side we usually run has like a pretty fun layout, and I'm sure if you guys have seen my videos, you've seen it. But now we're gonna run the full thing. So the tough part is we've never run the full thing before. We've never drifted on the full thing. So it's kind of like figuring out how to do a super big layout that takes up both sides, still flows super well, is tandem friendly, and just basically designing the best track we can with, you know, this huge layout. So I'm gonna take you guys through the journey of what it's like to, I don't know, lay out a drift track. I guess we're not building it from scratch, so the title is totally going to be clickbait, but you're here, you might as well watch the rest of it. So let's jump into it. The first thing we want to do when designing track is kind of look at it from overhead, and we have these cool overhead track maps, and you can see for go-karts this thing was laid out to have like over 88 possible layouts. So it's just a huge bowl of squiggly spaghetti. But you can draw some really cool layouts from that, and you might do that with your finger on the screen right now. And I drew like 20 or 30 layouts that I thought would be cool. A lot of them kind of boiled down to having like 2 separate tracks, which I thought would be really fun. But I think most people are going to want like one huge continuous layout that uses as much of the track as possible. So kind of drew those in. The only thing is, this was built for go-karts and not cars, so in some points it's not really wide enough to fit a car through, and some of the corners are supposed to flow this way, but we want them to flow like this way. So like the track might get too narrow and like you'd hit a curb on this side, and a car just wouldn't fit, wouldn't work. So I have to, you know, go out and test the track and see what actually works, but they have carts out there, and just for access reasons, we can't get a car on the track to go test 30 or 40 layouts. Luckily, one of our no-drift drivers put the kart track without any barriers or anything in it into Assetto Corsa, which, if you don't know, Assetto Corsa is a driving simulator game, kind of like Forza, but realistic for computers. And I have this fancy driving simulator with VR goggles and stuff, so I can virtually put myself on the track with a somewhat realistic car and see if everything works and we can actually drive the layouts. So that's what I'm about to do. We'll just jump in and figure stuff out. Here we are in virtual reality, and this is almost exactly what I see. I think this is a slightly cropped version of what my left eye sees, but it's close enough and it looks like a GoPro helmet cam. Assetto Corsa is a really neat tool, and if you want to see some more sim stuff, I'll link a few videos down in the card. I started driving the layout I thought would work best, which was this one, but you can see that this section right here gets a little bit too tight, especially for any decent tandem. So Dom and Debo had the brilliant idea of switching a few corners around to make this layout, and that's the one we pretty much wound up with for testing. I did spend a bunch of time taking really bad lines and driving kind of like it was my first time on track, so I could see if there were any danger zones or spots that are too hard for the newer drivers. I wound up in the grass a lot right here, and I straightened up in a few spots. It is really technical, but overall the track isn't too hard, and you can link the entire thing if you're into that. I did the layout in reverse just to see if that would be better, and thanks to the sim, I saw that everyone would die, so we canned that idea pretty quick. Then, just to make sure slow cars would still have fun, I ran through in a stock AE86, and was still able to link the whole track within a few laps, so I think even you slow guys are going to have a lot of fun on this track. Alright, now that it's all tested out on the simulator, we're going to jump in real cars and try it out. So I forgot I'm still on 235s. which are probably not enough for the kart track, and I way blew off track, like really, really badly. It's also kind of wet. Things I wasn't yet prepared for this morning. So yeah, I went off track. Also, I gotta fix my seatbelt real quick. But the track so far feels really good. It feels almost exactly like it did in Assetto Corsa. My car just has a lot less grip than it should. So I don't think I have time to put real tires on it today, so I might just drop some pressure and let's go back out there and see what it's like. So here's just a quick hot lap through the track. I just wanted to show you that the whole thing is linkable. And I think I did 2 laps back to back, the whole thing, like with the bus stop. And except for the first front straightaway, just because you want to build a bunch of speed to do a cool entry into turn 1. But really, everything else is linkable, and it's pretty tight. The track is a crazy workout. There's a bunch of turns. I don't have power steering, so it's a whole lot of arm work, but it's really, really fun. There's like one danger zone that we're definitely going to shut down because people will end up in the fence, and that's the part that I was showing you on the sim last night. That kind of took me forever to work out.
That's too tight, and then this is too fast.
Oh, yeah.
And then what this is not, right here, just clear the grass up?
Drifting this is not even like doable.
Right there. That part is no good. If you're tandeming there, you're gonna run someone over for sure. So we're just gonna close it off. Yeah, pretty much it. Translates really well from the sim. This is definitely the layout we're gonna go with. It's really fun. I don't think we're gonna try anything else out. So I guess we got like 20 more minutes of laps to get in. I'm gonna see if I can chase someone and hopefully you don't spin out and die. All right, so I'm just gonna talk you guys through the course as we tandem through it. So front straight, I really only get up to second, but I think you can get up to third. I do on the BMW when we do this. And again, that's Debo's street car, and he had to drive to work after this. So the tandems are lame, and I apologize, but they'll be way cooler for EYB. So this whole section is like really long, and you have to grab a ton of e-brake. A manji there will just cause a bunch of cars to pile up. And then this one, same thing. It's really long straight, and then a whole lot of e-brake and a little bit of foot brake so you don't go into the grass like I did earlier. This section's pretty tight, really fun, self-explanatory, and then pretty much like from here to the end of it, it's really good for tandems. The corners kind of get tighter as you go through them, and it's really fun. A little bit of left foot brake can kind of like suck you up into the other car. This corner, you really got to make sure you start wide and like take a really late apex like here, so you can get all the way out into this red here and link it. And then we're talking about shutting down from here pretty much through the end of the course. You can see, like, if I were to get close in tandems, like the speed changes from fast to slow too much. So I would just run over Debo if I didn't give him a ton of room and like use a lot of foot brake. So if we have 10 cars deep in a train, people will die there. So I think we're just going to shut that part down. And then we could go use the bus stop on the right there. But this is just a good spot to cool your tires down. Because the lap is really, really long and it uses up a ton of tires. And then pit out is going to be to the left here. And then we have this huge, long pit lane. I don't know if we're going to stage gear stuff in here, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the EYB layout. It's really fun, super awesome for tandem. If you're coming to EYB, make sure your e-brake works. You're going to use it a lot. A lot of corners, you got to drag it, because it's a lot of like straights into a really tight corner. Really, really fun though. If you can, you run a big sidewall tire like I do. That way, like when you run over curbs and stuff, it doesn't blow out your wheel. That's kind of the only two things I have to add. Have an e-brake, have big tires if you can, and then come have fun. The track is really good on tires unless you're running the curbs a lot. And the whole track takes about 1.5 minutes to get through, which is a long time, especially if you don't have power steering. My arms were dead after 3 laps. I can't do more than 3 laps on track without completely losing my arm strength. It might be smart to like shut down some sections, like kind of after right here, kind of shut it down all the way through the bus stop to let tires cool down and stuff and give your arms a fighting chance. But yeah, really fun track. Hope you guys can make it out. Tag someone or share this video with someone who you think should come out. Do you think like Adam LZ or Aaron Losey should come out? He's pretty close for this. So share this with all your friends and let's get a bunch of really rad drivers on the kart track. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Oh, like and subscribe if you want to, if you haven't yet. And you'll see more of these videos. Bye.